archives, and chronicles. There's a lot of talk about optimizing your D&D character, but there's not a whole lot about being a better player. So in this one, I'm going to show you one awesome way to up your game and make sure you're the kind of person everyone's going to want at their table. And if you're a dungeon master, and odds are a lot of you watching this are, there's going to be some ideas in this one you may want to include in your game, so stay with me. Okay, D&D players, look, there are way more people who want to play Dungeons & Dragons than are willing to run Dungeons & Dragons. So seats at the table can be at a premium. And I'm not just fear-mongering, it's true. People are out there paying for the privilege to play. We did a whole video on ways to help you find a seat, and another on principles to keeping that seat once you find it. And that one's good for some beginner and sort of like intermediate player principles, but in this one, we're going advanced. This is a next level Dungeons & Dragons player move. Keep and share an in-character journal. Now, some of your eyes just lit up, and for others, their eyes rolled hard, but stay with me. It will get you and keep you more deeply engaged in the game, even when it isn't your turn. It will also actually make you better. I know a lot of people are, half traumatized by an underfunded education system and are suspicious of anything that sounds like homework, but look, taking notes in D&D is hugely important. Unless you've got an incredible memory, when a piece of information comes out, say the location of a particular MacGuffin or, the big bad's secret weakness, or just an NPC's name, write that shit down. Write it all down, because you don't necessarily know what's important or what will become important down the line. It might come up weeks or months later, and you'll be super glad you have your notes when knowing that this particular guard visits that particular tavern most nights, plus that charisma check to get them to do a favor for you might be a lot harder if you clearly don't even remember that guard's name. But take notes is pretty basic advice. You know you should be taking notes, right? It not only helps you inside the game, it shows respect and appreciation for all the work the Dungeon Master is putting in. So they're happy having you in their game. But we said advanced player move, the kind of things that will make that Dungeon Master think of you first when they're getting the next campaign together. So we are going to take those notes and turn them into an in-game artifact, and we're going to share with the class. Another round of triggers just went off for the, survivors of the gifted and talented programs out there. Don't be afraid of people copying your answers. This is a team game, not a test. The more that everyone knows, the more likely they'll be able to figure stuff out and make good decisions in the game. And if we write these notes in character, people will actually look forward to reading them. My buddy Mike has been in 3 of my campaigns now, and I'll be inviting him when I'm cooking up the 4th one, because every week Mike drops his session recaps, and I get a lot of enjoy out of reading them. I mean, check these things out. He was playing a fairy barbarian the first time out, and it became a thing in-game that he was always looking for and stealing paper, which is typically more of like a wizard thing, but this slightly deranged little flying creature was using it to record the events of the campaign, mostly to keep score of how much goo there was from all the violence. We were months into the campaign before we learned that what we'd been seeing posted in between sessions was actually like a translation, and that the actual Chronicles of Ticklefang, as they came to be known, actually looked a lot more like this in reality. And notice in these that dude goes above and beyond, cataloging all of the monster kills and items obtained. So out of the gate, it is an incredibly useful resource. You want to make sure you're getting all of your XP and loot every session? Keep track. Here's some bonus advice. You want to make sure all the other players are happy to have you in their game and will remember to let you know next time there's an extra seat for you. Be a reliable banker. In our Pathfinder game, Mike made a cleric who worshipped the dwarven god of treasure, and so it was natural for him to be in charge of the party's inventories. His notes went up as prayers to his deity, and he flexed his design muscles a bit now that he wasn't, creating from the perspective of a feral little flying maniac. And we just started a Lost Mine of Phandelver into Shattered Obelisk run, and his new character is already writing letters home to his adopted mother. Feel free to go back or pause this video to pull inspiration from these. I love the new voice in this one, so I might even be less likely to kill him. Wizards is squishy though, and I don't fudge dice, so no promises on that front. I actually started encouraging my players to do this years ago when I began my version of like a West Marches style game. Check this out if you don't know what that means. It's an awesome way to set up a campaign, and you can like adapt principles from it to improve the flexibility of a more typical style as well. It's not all or nothing. In that game, people were coming and going, especially early on, so I needed a way for players to learn what happened in sessions that they did not participate in. I really wanted this to work, so I had in-game incentives to get players to participate. I actually had the main quest giver NPC, played brilliantly by my friend Matt, asking for entries to his archive so he could chronicle the exploits of his Adventurers League that he was founding. I built a set of tables of rewards, with gems and consumable magic items, and bigger and better entries would get more rolls on that table. There's a bonus idea for you DMs out there. Having a player guest star as an NPC can really open up a lot of cool options for your game, like including someone that can't make the time commitment and running a PC in a campaign entails, but is pumped to hop on Discord for the first 20 minutes of a session each week. Matt's eccentric noble character, Archibald, was actually a Rakshasa in disguise, using the Adventurers League he'd founded to seek out and get revenge on his enemies. And the players had their suspicions, and that campaign didn't go far enough to reach that big reveal, so it goes, but me and Matt working together was a lot of fun. Now, are some people more into adding to the archives than others? Of course, but I'm pretty sure every player in that campaign published a journal entry at least once, I think it was a couple times, during that game because people respond to incentives. Can you try to sell them on the real world benefits to incentivize them? Sure. Hey, maybe send them this video, but for some players, you're going to get a lot more mileage out of in-game rewards. And why not cover your bases and do both? For in-game rewards, you could easily just grab the gem tables on page 134 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. There's actually some cool stuff in there if you know where to look. We did a whole little series on hidden gems of the DMG. Here's a card, but I think I'll take all of these videos and link to them below just to make it easier on you. There's been a lot this one. Also, it's YouTube. If you hit like and subscribe, maybe even leave a comment, recommend this channel to a friend, it does really help me out a lot, and I always deeply appreciate that. In my West Marches game, I also used Penny's Potions table from the Sealed Tower of Rydal to provide in-game incentives to share journals. She's a great NPC to fold into your game. I even have her on my random encounter tables, and that adventure is one of the favorite things I've cooked up. It's rated 5 stars on the DM's Guild right now, so I guess I'm not the only one who likes it. You can grab the table and the whole freaking PDF for free in the preview, but if you have a couple bucks to spare, I appreciate all forms of support. That campaign was a few years ago, but all of those entries in Archie's archive were posted in a channel on a Discord I set up for game night, so we can still go back and read them. We can relive that campaign, remembering those experiences we had together much better than if there wasn't some sort of record of those nights. It's a really nice thing to have, and if you've never experienced it, trust me, you will be glad you included that in your game one day. But you don't have to wait for years later to enjoy benefits here. As a DM, having insights into what the players know or remember or believe is really going to be huge one day. Maybe they're operating under a misconception and it would be more fun for everyone going forward if you cleared that up, especially if it's something the characters would clearly know, but somehow the players got it mixed up. Alternatively, maybe they've jumped to the wrong conclusion and you can exploit that fact to make a better game and tell a better story. It is also quite possible that what the players think is going on is more interesting or narratively satisfying than your original plan or whatever was in the book, and you can take that idea and run with it, pretending it was that way all along. This is also a great thing to have going when something comes up and somebody misses a session. It's also secretly a way to inject a little FOMO and maybe get people to miss fewer sessions and prioritize game night a bit more in the first place. And even if everyone was there, it can be very useful to have a little recap ready of what happened last time, wherever you're sitting at the table. And here's maybe the biggest thing. Crafting and sharing in-character journals is also an incredible way to spread the fun of game night out across the rest of the week. That's actually one of the huge benefits of being a dungeon master. The secret is we're always playing D&D. But players can get in on that action as well and do a little bit between sessions to enjoy things more and up their game. And you can take this idea in a bunch of directions. Maybe your character creates drawings or writes poetry. Maybe they spout long monologues up or down to their deity or patron. I'm sure there are people watching this with even cooler ideas, and we would all appreciate it if you would share them in the comments. I really do hope you try this one out. It's been something I really have gotten a lot out of over the years. Links to all the stuff I mentioned and hopefully some other cool ideas down below if you want to follow up on any of those videos. Otherwise, maybe one of these will be right up your alley. Thank you so much for watching. Be kind. Have fun. Ooh, not kidding.